Good day, class. This is the second part of our discussion with regards to exceptions. This time, we will learn how to manage exception errors. So, before we start with that, I'm going to create a file on the fly without using Notepad or any other text editor. Just going to use the console, and we're going to create a file called item.txt, and then I'll just type in a few data here, say like so. One more. Okay, then I'll save it. Okay, now we're going to create a program, or we're going to open the existing program that, in our previous discussion earlier. That's exceptions, Java. Okay. So I'm going to erase this one. Okay. And then remove the comment that we have added previously. Okay. Now, in order to manage exceptions, we will use a trycatch block. A trycatch block looks like this. Let me comment on this one first, so that we will know. Okay. So this is the structure of a trycatch block. Okay. Now, inside the try block is where the statement or statements wherein a possible exception might occur. So after this discussion, we will proceed with the program, and we will determine what are the statement or statements that will generate an exception. Okay. Now, the catch statement or the catch block will include, of course, the exception. What kind of exception? And then normally there's an object variable here. Okay, wherein we will put the generated exception error. Okay. And then supposedly these are statements inside. For corrective measure. Okay. An example of which, so let's say an exception is generated, we can correct the program by entering another value, prompting the user to enter another value, or to give, before terminating the program, give the user a warning on what the error is, and then prompt the user to execute the program again. So those are examples of managing or informing the user what were the exception without triggering an error, okay? Or to continue with the program. That's the main job of the try-catch block, is to handle exceptions, to manage exceptions, and then to have a corrective measure in order for the program not to terminate, okay? Or terminate gracefully. Okay. So whenever you want to type something on your computer, uh, please pause this video and then type it, or take a picture of it and then type it later in your computer. So anyway, I'm going to erase this one. Okay. And of course, in this particular program, the exception that will be generated will be caused by this line. This one. This is where the exception will be generated. So, since we're going to put it inside a try-catch block, okay, we'll do it right now. And then the catch remember the screen I told you to remember, the exception. So that's the arithmetic exception. This is the exception being generated. Then we'll store it in the object. We'll call it AE, our arithmetic exception. And then we're just going to inform the user that he or she has entered you have entered a 0 value. Run try again. Okay, so I'll make the statement brief, but you get it. Okay, and we're going to move this outside the main program, and because it will not be read by the try block or the try catch block, we're going to move it outside so that it will be public. And then we're going to define it as static. Okay, so that it can be understood by the, or it can be read by the try catch block. Okay, let's check if there are any errors, syntactical errors. Save the file. Clear the screen. Compile the program. Run it. Okay, so we'll test it first by entering normal values. 5. Okay, run it again. This time I'm going to enter a 0 denominator. So let's see if the exception will be generated, or the program that we have, the try catch block, will do its work. So press enter. Okay. So the try catch block worked. So let's see the program again. Okay. So in summary, in order to manage exceptions, you need to include a try-catch block statement. Inside the try block is where the statements that an exception might be generated, and the catch block is where we have to enter corrective statements. So this concludes our lesson for today, for this part of exceptions. On our next lesson, or on our next discussion, we will discuss more examples, or I'll show you more examples in exceptions, and also to introduce file handling. Good day, class. Regards.